Hello and welcome back to The Good Talk, the show where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, and everything between the wide world of Warhammer. My name is Adrian and I'm joined today by Brian Leva. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you and with chat as well. I'm really curious to hear the thoughts from chat, honestly, because we have a lot of thoughts here in the studio. Of course, we play this game an extraordinary amount, but it's always good to hear just feedback from people that play it a normal amount.
Exactly. Today we're going to be talking about the health of Warhammer 40k, particularly in the context of our recent trip to the Nova Open 2025, which we went to last week. Had a great time. So welcome in, everybody. We're just going to give a few seconds, as always, to kind of shuffle on in. Our live shows on Thursdays, our talk shows, are traditionally for the members. It's one of the perks that they get where we do extra games on Tuesday. And the talk show on Thursday, we talk about tactics, state of the game, things like that, and kind of share our thoughts, communicate with everyone, and it's a great time. But the first Thursday of the month, we like to open it up to everyone, just so you can get a taste of what we do with the members. It's a great time. So thanks for joining us. What's up, Old Ben? What's up, Matthew Powell? Monicure1, Ronnie Kinney. Thanks for joining us live, folks. Appreciate it. Ronnie says, hey, I tried to find y'all at Nova, but I couldn't find y'all for the meetup. No! Yeah, I had a few people that were like, a bunch of people actually, more than I was surprised, were like, oh, there was a meetup? Or like, I didn't know what the meetup was. Like, shoot. So I guess I'll do a better job communicating that in the future. Nova's always a weird one to find a location for because it's a big venue, but there's also like not a lot of side rooms like LVO has.
There's actually no side rooms.
There's no side rooms,
It's just
really.
the hotel, yeah.
Exactly. So we just do the general meetup in the front lobby of the hotel there. So, but we'll make sure we communicate that more in the future. And if y'all see us at events, come on by, say hi. We really appreciate it. I know sometimes people are shy or they don't want to bother us. You can't bother us. We love this. We love talking to people. That's why we're here. So, yeah. Lobby was like everywhere. Front lobby.
I mean, it's kind of a valid point.
To be fair, I was sitting in a section of the front lobby, but then there's like cubicle seating.
Yeah.
And I was there for like 15 minutes chatting and then realized that we had other people on the other side of the wall also chatting. And Melody and Willow are also there, so we eventually grouped up. But yeah, so we'll work on that. Welcome in, everybody. Talking about Death Guard. Yeah, you saw the thumbnail. It's not just because he's a doctor and he's going to check on the state of the game. It's because we have things to discuss there as well. Cool. So let's just dive on in, yeah?
Yeah.
So, state of the game. These last few months, frankly, have been rough if you were going to the tournament scene or if you're trying to play any sort of meta game. I think if you were willing to play with friends and kind of self-balance, or on the stream, we tried to avoid bad matchups, and it was fine. It's fine. But if you were going to tournaments, we were inundated with three armies, really. Imperial Knights, Chaos Knights, and Death Guard.
Yep.
We saw the points drops and the stats drops of the Knight variants. The Chaos Knights coinciding with their book, and the Imperial Knights just like an index version of what we will probably see on Saturday, where we have the full book. And so suddenly we had very, very cheap Knights lists that were Imperial Knights already were performing quite well, have skyrocketed, and the Chaos Knights just a strong book with very, very cheap points costs. Yep. And then the Death Guard, of course, very powerful book ever since the launch, in particular with some of the lists that really leveraged the holes, particularly hole spam, I think was the most problematic, where you could just get so many decently tough bodies that had a ton of output. And so, we had a huge percentage of the player base that was playing those at events. And again, no shade to those players. Don't be hating on people. Hate the game. Like, yeah, they're going to take a thing. And it was very clear that, like, if you wanted to play at the top level, if you wanted to have your best chance of winning, this is probably what you take. But that resulted in many, many, many games of Death Guard, Imperial Knights, and Chaos Knights.
Yeah, and this is not like a new thing, right?
Yeah.
Every time that there is a dominant army, people play that army. Like, if you're going to compete and you have aspirations of winning, you need to take things that can compete.
Yeah.
Armies that can perform well, and oftentimes that means you are taking the thing that is the monster meta, meta monster at the moment. So of course, Death Guard Knights, Imperial Knights were seen in excess
Spades.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Spades. For that reason, like if you're competing and you want to compete, you got to take the best, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to play the best because you have to beat the best, which is those particular armies, and obviously those can play against each other.
These are also armies that are quite popular. And they're easy to collect. Yeah. A knight army is low model count. Many of us have slowly built up knight armies in the background because they're just cool. Who doesn't love giant robots, right? And the Death Guard, Yeah, this guy's a hater. Whatever, go play bolt action. And then Death Guard are, we've been saying this for a while, I think probably one of the, or if not the best starter army, because it's a contained collection, they look great, you can get them relatively cheaply, and they paint up really nice. You can paint up easy with contrast, they look good. If you're an experienced painter, you can do a lot of really cool stuff with them. So they're all collections that people already have, and they're kind of ready and waiting. So yeah, big problem. So all that to say, we know what the problem was. GW went and increased the points on all the armies, on the Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights, and the Death Guard. Notably with the Death Guard list going up like 220 points on the whole spam. Mortarian's Anvil or Hammer detachment. No, Anvil. Sorry, I play the Hammer. They have the Anvil.
They have the Anvil.
That's what it is. So big changes, and the question is, did it work? Was it enough? We know now that there's an Imperial Knight book incoming. We're supposing there should be a balanced data slate in the near future, but the question is, with just these changes, how is the game doing? And looking from chat, we see a number of different things. We see, yes, it's healing, excited it's healing. Some people saying, was it enough, particularly for Death Guard? Jay talked about 9% Death Guard last weekend, probably hold steady until the slate hits them, which kind of jives with, Azuma had also mentioned, Death Guard got a numbers nerf. In my opinion, they need a little rules nerf now. Thoughts?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Okay, so me and Bridget spoke about this on Tuesday. Obviously, this was our first foray back from Nova, and so we talked about it with the members.
Yeah, check it out.
But that said, the points changes, and again, GW likes to do this thing where before they change rules, like we have seen in the past they are willing to change rules, but it takes a lot for them to get to the point where they feel like they have to change rules. And Death Guard is not an army that points is going to fix, unfortunately, because they have given so many rules to all these units. Points is either going to make the units just unplayable, or they're going to be too cheap for what they do. There's no middle ground that you can find that's going to justify the unit. So if we look at Deathshot, for example, with the character that gives them every single keyword in the game,
right? Yeah,
with the 6-inch Deep Strike, with Flamers, with -1 toughness, or like, it's everything that you could possibly ever have in the game on this one unit. And if you point them to an appropriate cost, they're unplayable. If you don't point them to that appropriate cost, then they just become too good, right? And it's kind of a similar sentiment repeated across the army for a lot of these different units. Now, the whole spam getting the points increases, 100% justified, and I don't think that was too far. I don't know if it was not far enough, but the rest of the army now looks much better because of the things that got the points increases. There's things that are cheaper and kind of fulfill a similar purpose, or can just shift the playstyle of the army and still perform very, very well. Yeah. Because the reason that you were taking the whole spam is because they just outperformed everything else. Right. But if you don't want to spend that extra 300 points on stuff, you just shift into the stuff that was cheaper that can do a similar thing. So it needs a rules rework, in my opinion, on some of the data sheets, or potentially more than some. But again, we have to get to that point with Games Workshop because they don't like to do that prematurely. They need to see all the data. And because this is a physical game, it's very hard to collect data. So we unfortunately have to kind of live with it until they are prepared to go back and reiterate on their rules.
Yeah, I understand like a reticence to change rules in particular because there's the constant problem. Like either you leave the game out of balance, but the published rules work, or you update them and people are mad that the published materials are not valid, and so hence points first, rules second. I think that's a good approach, and I think you bring up a great point. Like some of these units are so good that they basically need to become elite units. But elite armies are very hard to balance. Again, look at knights, look at custodies, look at, and those are the main ones, right? The more elite you make things, the harder it is to balance. So it's too few models to play the game, or they're too good, and so then going in with another scalpel and adjusting rules, I think is not a bad idea, honestly. I do think they are probably still overtuned. I'm not as extreme as Bridger, who says like the whole book is problematic. No, I played the non-whole spam, and it's not just because I didn't do well. Like genuinely, there are gaps in the army, in the list, and that's good. Things like Plague Marines are fantastic, but they're so overshadowed by the rest of the book, rest of the army, things like that. So I do think they probably are still too strong. We'll probably, hopefully, see some adjustments. Impressions from this weekend, I didn't get a Death Guard tally, but the Knights combined was about 10% of the field. which is much better than it was even a week before. We had seen some events where it was upwards of 20%, which is wild.
Awful.
So certainly people have responded in kind, and some people have grumbled, which is hilarious, because those armies are all still quite strong, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
I have to wonder if the reason we didn't see more of these factions, and again, we don't know the number of the Death Guard that was there, but I have to imagine the combined total was probably close to 20% of the three. But because the data slate came out before lists were due, or like the hot patch, or did it come out before lists were due? It did, right?
Well, you could so Nova is weird with lists. There's not really a submission. It's just up until right before.
Oh, weird.
The emergency patch was after the cutoff.
Right.
They allowed the emergency points. They didn't do the Votan, because technically it's the same update, but they were like, only the points are emergency. So yeah, this was after arguably people had committed to their armies or whatever.
So I have to imagine then in that case that people either just decided to not go to the event or just decided to switch armies.
Yeah.
Because their list was non-playable at that point, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm less sympathetic because I'm more like...
No, I'm not saying like...
You just drop some models.
Right.
It's not like your list went too many points, you know? Or no, your list was too many points, so you just cut stuff, as opposed to like the opposite direction where now you literally don't have the models to play. So, but it is a factor for sure, you know, and it is that weekend where people are it's kind of thrust upon them. So we'll see over the next couple weeks whether that adjusts now that people have time to actually sit and think about it, and people are not just automatically playing whatever they were playing minus a couple of units, things like that, right? So that's a thing. Yeah, and definitely we'll see some changes with Votan for sure. Eldari versus World Leaders Finals. Eldari won. Yes, exactly. So we'll start diving into, I'll talk a bit about my games and my observations from playing in the 40k champs. I was, again, pleasantly surprised. I ended up only playing Chaos Knights. I played Chaos Knights once, no Imperial Knights, no Death Guard. I played Eldar twice, which ended up being very popular, and I think Eldar partially, there's a few things going on. Eldar are very good into Knights, right? And their Death Guard matchup is not ideal, but possible, right? Of course, Art of War comes out with a tier list where they say Eldar S tier. I'm sure that influences some people.
Yep.
But most of the Eldar people that were playing at the high level were people who already know them. Like Folger Piles, who, spoiler, ended up winning the whole event, known for winning Worlds last year with Custodes. Famously is an Eldar player, actually, not a Custodes player. And even at the time, people were like, yeah, he won Custodes by playing them like Eldar. So this is not an army you can just pick up and jump on. But the people who were, Eldar players saw this as a good moment with the points adjustments to kind of play that. So lots of Eldar. Eldar did pretty decently over the weekend. World Leaders was surprising to me.
Yeah, there was two on the top 8. If I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
exactly.
And they actually top 4'd both of them. Right?
Yeah,
They played in the quarterfinals.
They did great.
So they did fantastic, which I was not expecting, especially on the terrain at Nova, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But
yeah,
I was well and truly surprised.
it was very cool. So we had 2 layouts for terrain. Day 1 was layout 6, which is very open, very, very open. Day 2 was layout 1, which is of course the little L's where you can kind of tuck in. So that's a more favorable matchup. It was funny actually. I ended up playing one of the 6++ guys, and he played World Leaders, undefeated day 1 on the open layout. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
very cool.
Crazy.
There's a lot of MSU going on right now. The Eldar lists are playing lots of MSU. The World Leaders list actually a lot of MSU. Triple spawn. The lists look very flavorful, which I love. Like the Death Guard, the World Leaders lists, it's like you got 2 boys and trucks, you got 2 forged rings for shooting, you have 3 spawns, maybe that's a bit much, but you've got a couple 8-bound. It's like just a bit of everything, And outside of the 30 Swooping Hawks list, the Eldar lists are, guess what? You got 4 Phoenix Lords with their guys. You got a few Warp Spiders, you got a few Swooping Hawks, you got 1 of each tank. It's like, these look like real lists.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool, actually.
It is pretty sick.
Yeah.
I love to see the Phoenix Swords on the table. Like, I knew they've always been good, right?
Yeah,
when you put
yeah.
them in their aspect courses, they've always been good since the Codex came out.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's really nice to see that people are actually playing them and wanting to take them as opposed to just like spamming hauntards.
Exactly. So that already feels way better. So I guess let's dive on and talk a bit about my games, my pathway. Again, if you have general questions, let us know. This is just kind of a way for us to contextualize it and do stuff like that. So I took my Hammer of the Emperor, not because I thought it was particularly good into the meta. I think it's a very spiky game into the top dogs, which is to say Imperial Knights, Chaos Knights, even Death Guard. But I've been really liking playing it, and it's been a ton of fun. So that's that. These are practice games I played with my dad, who plays once a year at an event. It's Nova. And every year I forget that he does no terrain. So I have to cut out the basing and set that up. So we played a few practice games. He was playing Blood Legion, which, let me say, messed me up.
Not okay, actually. Turns out, super not okay.
I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, if you're not familiar with Blood Legion, they blood surge if you move within 6 inches. So if he stands on an objective, and I want to put something, anything on an objective, then it's possible for him to move in combat with me if he rolls well enough. And it's not the end of the world for some armies, but if you're dedicated, if you only have shooting or only have melee, it's a problem. Because I move something on the point, he blood surges into me, I can shoot him at a -1, I guess. That really hurts guard. The guys that just got on the point can't shoot. They're probably going to die from the Bloodthirster that's now in combat with them. Yep. He's got Bellicor, so it's 18-inch blown up, so I can't shoot him from far away. So it was actually really, really, really tough. So we played a few games. I mean, this is what happens when you have a bunch of Bloodthirsters in your line. And I'll tell you, I did lose this game. They just got in there, man. It's brutal. So super fun. Definitely was not helping my confidence going into the event. And I've been having just a heck of a time.
This is a terrifying sight.
Look at
All
this.
you have is guns, Bloodthirster, Bellicor.
It's just like, what are you supposed to do against such a reckless hate? And he kept making these 4-ups, man. So in my opinion, this has been a good indication of the game in the last few months. Not that these are meta armies, but we've been seeing an increasing move toward whole armies, Hull. High toughness, monsters, vehicles, things like that. Damage is very spiky. I have damage output. If my multi-meltas get in, of which I have approximately 10 million, they're great. But I'm winning them on 5s. And they're going to have their 4-pin bolts. The knights are going to rotate. They're going to have their 4-pin bolts. You know, so it's a thing. And this has been emblematic of the game lately. And that's, look, I'm playing holes, so I'm not exempt from being part of the problem. But it does get tiring when it's just like, all right, here we go again. We're all holes and all monsters.
Yeah, I think one of the larger issues is that we're being forced into these decisions.
Yeah.
It's not that people want to spam tanks. There are some people that like to play parking lot lists, but by and large, I would say most people like to play a more take-all-comers type style or like a combined arm style.
Yeah.
But again, with the issue of knights, you need to be able to kill knights, and what kills knights? Anti-tank. What has anti-tank?
Correct.
Tanks, right? Like tanks kill tanks effectively, very well.
Precisely.
And then of course Eldar just have a lot of anti-tank on their infantry, and there's if you really wanted to go down the rabbit hole, there's a lot of other just like random units that have like Thunderkin, for example.
Yeah.
But by and large, most armies, their answer to vehicles or holes is taking their own.
Exactly. And Death Guard and Knights are great at killing those things. They specialize at it. So again, it becomes an arms race, and it also pushes us back towards the exact problem that we're trying to solve. Right? Look, I love tank spot too. I'm a tank lover. But as Brian said, we want options. We want the tank lovers to play tanks, and we want other people to play what they want to play. That's the goal. A big thank you to Matthew Powell for the super chat. Thank you. Matthew Powell says, I know what I want for the meta. Calgar riding in his Thunderhawk, Farsight dropping from his Manta, Taunar exchanging fire with Reavers and Stompas. You know what? That sounds beautiful and horrible all at the same time.
You want to play Titanicus? You can probably do all that in Titanicus.
Yeah. Well, no, you can't, because it's all dang Horse Heresy. Give us Epic Scale, G-Dubs. Epic Scale. We'll make Epic Titans. New channel.
Epic. That would be
That's just a good name.
That's just
we
a
should
great
do that
name,
regardless. And thank you, Vought, for the gifted Tabletop Titans membership.
Thank you.
Welcome, Avacern, to the team. What's up, Eneas? Thanks for joining us. Glad you're back. And thank you, Harborn, from our good friends up north, Vortex Gaming, sending 5 Tabletop Titans memberships. Greatly appreciate it, folks. Check out all that extra content that we got for the members. All right, so this is my practice games. Well, I've been playing this the last 6 months, so this was kind of getting my dad up and running. Oh, this was my favorite piece from Resin Beast, by the way.
This was not Resin Beast. Capital Palette.
Oh, Resin Capital Palette, the Nova competition. I saw this online on Instagram, and I was like shocked. It's one of those paintings that you see, and you're said, this cannot be real. And you see it in person, you're like, my God, my photo does not capture it. I do apologize. I can't even. I don't have the name because it was all anonymized. So this is amazing work. If someone knows in chat, please give them a shout out.
This is beautiful.
It's very cool. This is a random picture, but my favorite piece by far.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
I love painting competitions so much. Oh my god. Anyway, all right, all right.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We will. Okay, so going into the games. My first game was against Star Shatter. Necrons, great game to get started on. It went not as unexpected. Two big. It was the Siegler, so 2 big bricks of wraiths. They have all these reactive moves and they're very sneaky. It was Purge, of course, which is normally good for me, but they have like no units and they're unkillable. So it was first 2 turns of just trying to fight back this middle brick and push them back on the point. Had a Hellhound on the side, which we don't have a picture of that. Hellhound not pictured here. Was basically just on the objective, wraiths surrounding it and fighting it for the whole game because they just don't kill Hellhounds too good. Hellhounds
2-up save is insane.
Yeah, 2-up saves with a T10. It's like. So he just pinned them down long enough for me to eventually get through this brick of wraiths, push through the middle point, take out Silent King, take out the Doomsday Arcs. Again, very shooty, kind of a shooty matchup. That's the short version. I'd love to tell more, but let me know if you have questions. So that was a win against Necrons. This is Dadrian and John McCardle.
Best friends, turns out.
Yeah, they're the same. Good energy. Made your dad energy. Round 2, I played Mr. Specs, of course, our good friend from the channel, who we've actually had on the stream, who's playing Seer Council. So my first matchup against Eldari. This was a very stressful game for both of us, because he's doing the Seer Council stuff, uppy downing, 18-inch lone op.
Yep.
And I'm like, I can move 18 and shoot wild, crazy distances, and it was just a very, very particular game of like us trying to maneuver around each other. And I'd say the turning point was, again, Hellhounds are great. Eldar hate Hellhounds because you got to commit real resources to kill them, and they have amazing Overwatch.
Yep.
I was so mad. So back here, behind this wall is Jane Zar and the Banshees. Jane Zar reroll wounds against vehicles. Fun fact, Dorn commanders, all vehicles.
Characters.
All characters, yeah, against characters. Dorn commanders are characters. And I was like, I just don't trust this. So I ended up zooming out this Hellhound here to shoot into the Jane Zar. Number of shots? 1 shot. Oh, no, 2 shots. I was like, I need this to pop off. Reroll it. 1 shot.
So you're telling me Specs walked out Jane Zar, did not use the no Overwatch on her.
No, this was my turn.
Oh, so you got around this corner. Okay.
I zipped, because remember, I can go real fast.
Yeah.
This guy, ping for auto advance, goes 16, 19 if I want to. So I just towed in to be able to see them, because they're wholly around this corner.
Right.
And just torch them, because this was all a ton of Overwatch. Enough to kill, like, Khazarkin. I could not use my Khazarkin the way I wanted to. No. Which is the other side of it, because those flamers on those Warlock Councils, it's disgusting.
They are fantastic.
Yeah, they were just horrifying. So he's keeping me back with flamers. I'm keeping him honest. I ended up winning. That's a different horror show. And there was a key moment of basically Fuegan and the lads getting a little too close, and I just was slowly trying to pen him in so that no matter what, he's gonna kill a thing. And this was my philosophy against all the Eldar games. It all comes down to the Fire Dragons. Dark Reapers, whatever. They're gonna do their thing. They're very spiky. It's the Fire Dragons. Get them to use the Fire Dragons, kill them, and then we were in control of the game. And I was able to get an angle where I could just zoom up a Dorn 19 inches across, or 15 inches across the battlefield, and shoot down Fuegan squad to just him. And then once they're eliminated, kind of move on to the point. So that's the general game plan. Let me check in on chat. Oh, what's up, Tattoo Tabletop? Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully you're doing well. Make sure y'all check out Tattoo Tabletop on YouTube. Should be able to just click on the link there. Check it out. And thank you, Vought. Vought says, thank you for super chat, first of all. Speaking of playing what you want to play, ran a Mastodon 40k narrative 1500 points list. Yes. Where I only deployed the Mastodon with everything else in a box dread in it. Stupid fun and a really close game. That's amazing.
I love that it was a close game also. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So good. But it's the thing, like Warhammer, you don't have to be playing like a tippy top list to have a good Warhammer, you know? So that's awesome. I love it. So thank you, Vought. Appreciate it. Bonesaw's ready. This is layout 6. Mega open, which kind of went both ways for us here, because we're both very shooty, and we actually both want terrain, because I can jump through it, he can jump through it, but we want to be able to shoot the other person. So the terrain was bad for both of us. So, what's up, Iolanthe and Thugs? Welcome in chat, our wonderful mods.
Hello.
So it was a win against Eldar. This is the horror show that was
trying to
the aisles.
maneuver through the aisles.
It was horrific. It was horrible. Some were better than others, but this was the worst of it. And they had all these carts. I do appreciate that they said no carts in the main aisle, which was good. The problem is these people still have carts, and the carts just moved into the middle, and we just like couldn't sit. Horrific.
Turns out if they were in the main aisle, you'd have more room in the center.
I know.
Between the tables.
I know. That's the thing, right? Bonesaw is ready. Likes layout 6 for the world leaders for staging. Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the building.
Yeah. I guess they don't have
tuck up into.
big profiles.
Yeah, it's like a rhino.
Yeah, which is all they have. So, like these, there's all these lanes shooting down and down and down. But if you're like a medium-sized hole, like I could tuck my hellhounds here. You know, you could tuck something up in here. I could see that, actually. I could see that. And then this side up here, this is also the kind of nook where you can sit and then jump onto this objective here.
Yep.
So, this is my next game, which was also into Eldar. This was Warhost. I'd say a more traditional list for Eldar right now. Again, fantastic opponent. This was closer to Folger Pile's list. Very similar, actually. I'm not quite sure what the difference was. So we had the Dark Reapers with Magun Ra and the Falcon. We had the Fire Dragons and the Wave Serpent, you know, Swooping Hawks on some flanks. He had Scorpions instead of like some more Corsairs and stuff. And the Scorpions were good and annoying in this game because one of the best ways to fight me is to just stand in front of my tanks.
Yep.
I can go through walls 1,000 inches, but I can't go through models. So getting them to like, they had ended up charging here, tagging this up, and then of course when I fall back, they battle focus right behind the wall. So they're just like in the way. So it's again a very careful game of where both have the tools to deal with each other, and we're just kind of carefully maneuvering around. Again, this game came down to playing against Fire Dragons. This was a later game, actually. You can tell it's a good game when I only had one picture. Getting him to use the Fire Dragons. And the Fire Dragons eventually had to come out to the midpoint here. And it's the same thing. They're going to do their thing. I got to let them do their thing. I just need to make sure I get them to turn after that. So Fuegan and the gang came out here, killed the Torox, killed the Hellhound, killed the Dorn. And that's just the way it goes. And I had staged another Dorn here at this point, and we had kind of moved up on this flank so that the next turn I was able to break through, get the Dorn here, get the Dorn here. So no matter where they dove, I was going to be able to just keep shooting them in the middle and just surround them and gun them down. It's the only way, because if I give them an angle where they can be hidden, they're going to be hidden. Yep. So that was the big push. And then we traded back and forth on this flank. So really, really great game. Honestly, super fun, super interesting. Once I had dealt with the Fire Dragons, I was in control, because Eldar will struggle into holes after that. We also had a spectacular number of explosions too, which was not a bad thing.
It's always appreciated.
Yeah, look, I'm into it. They hurt me, but they hurt Eldar worse.
So true.
Dude, Jane Czar, again, zoomed up here. He had Storm. He stands on the objective. Guns all down. I had my Khazrak in here, but stuck down on the objective. He's like, all right, I stormed the objective. I'm like, yep, makes sense. Kills a tank here. It was Hellhound. Explodes. Hellhounds explode for D6.
Killed all of them.
Killed everyone except for Jane Czar, who was off the objective. And he's like, I'm no longer storming. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god.
So bad.
So brutal. Jane Czar ended up living and causing me other issues later on, but it really made a huge headache for him here. So,
that hurts my heart.
Right? I'm just like, oh, I'm so sorry. And you just can't count on it. But that's Hellhounds for you. They just cause problems, you know? Cool. That's that. That was day 1, 3-0. Very shocked, very surprised. Not any expectations. Top of day 2, got to play on the GW stream, which was fun. This was against Chaos Knights. This was an Infernal list. I will say this. As far as Chaos Knights go, this was a good matchup for me because he was triple despoilers, so very little melee. He only had a couple Meltas. It was 2 Carnivores, 2, I want to say Stalkers with the Meltas. And then this was double battle cannon and double Gatling cannon. So he has a lot of things that don't have a ton of AP. The Gatling cannons wound my Dorns on 6s. Sounds great. The deployment was not good for me, however. This was quarters, which sucks. I'm in this corner, he's in this corner. We're close to each other, which sounds good to me, but it means he can block me off and shoot me, and I'm struggling to get in Melter range. And so I ended up going first, classic mistake. I kind of move up in stage, getting ready, like I'm going to have to be aggressive early on because he's going to have bottom turn advantage, get over to the side. There was a Rodigus here previously. I ended up killing Rodigus turn 2 because frankly, he popped -1 to hit on everything that's beyond 18. And guess what? The big knights are all beyond 18. So we're not even going to worry about them. We're just going to try to kill all the small stuff, kill Rodigus, push him back on the primary, and then get the big knights. Turns out a Gatling cannon, despite wounding a Dorn on 6s, can still kill it through sheer volume, sustained and lethal. You know, the second one can ignore cover. It's just like, I did not expect that.
Nobody does.
What are you going to do?
You're wounding on 6s, Adrian.
You're wounding on 6s! How am I losing a Dorn? Oh, it was brutal. So just volume, lost me a Dorn early. Having said that, it was a very good, tight game. He ended up breaking through in turn like 4-ish, bringing the knight over. I ended up killing, obviously, all the small knights. I took this guy down to 5 wounds on this objective. If I had not battle shocked my my Cadians, I actually was very much in the game. They battle shocked, couldn't quite push through, didn't have access to grades to do the final wounds, along with a couple other tricks. So they ended up killing most of my army and walking on the objectives at the end. So first loss, but was a matchup that was very playable. And I don't know that I would have felt that a week ago. So great game from a great opponent. Also, Scary and JT were commentating. Always a great time. So very, very fun.
I saw them walking around in their blazers, and I was like, look at these guys looking all professional.
So profesh. JT still had the shorts, though. It was good.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't show that on the GW stream. Next up, I played again against one of the 6++ guys, so check them out on YouTube. And this was an absolute pleasure of a game. World Eaters. World Eaters, by the way, he went undefeated on that layout 6, so there's something about what Bonesaw is ready as saying, possibly. Very fun, again, stressful game. I think this one was slightly in my advantage because I did have a bunch of big holes. World Leaders do have tools to deal with them, but they are somewhat limited. And again, it's a game of cat and mouse. Can I give him as little as possible? Can I prevent the rhinos from staging here and then popping out? And that came from kind of keeping him honest where he moves too close, I can zip around the corner, do Meltas. I ended up throwing the Khazarkin up early to pop the Rhino that was staged here, so he wouldn't have that extra flexibility, and the Berserkers just had to stay here. And they would have to like foot slog their way out, and I just kind of kept trading on this middle objective. And again, just kind of trading, deal with the big things as they presented themselves, deal with the Mauler Fiend, deal with the Forge Fiends. I ended up getting totally jailed. I don't know if we got a photo of it. Here we go. Where literally cannot back up, cannot use the strat to go through walls in a retreat.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so he pinned me. We were both upset about the end of this turn because my Dorns were down to like 4 wounds. So I'm upset about that. He's upset because he didn't kill them.
Right.
And we're just like, well, let's see what happens. Ended up being able to gun my way out of most of these things. Kind of back up, rotate, and deal with these things. The Demon Prince, I just had to let go. So they ended up killing both of these Dorns on the turn. He comes around. Literally at the bottom of turn 5, I say, okay, I can do this and this. If I do that, we tie. That close of a game. But if I can kill the lone guy on this objective using like a Torox and like 3 Khazarkin, I'll win. And that's how close the game came down to. I ended up killing him, but very fun, very close game. Well fought. My last game, at this point, I missed the top cut by 3 slots out of 396, which felt good. Didn't really want to play the second day. The third
day, you mean? Yeah.
That's too much Warhammer.
That's way
I'm sorry.
too much Warhammer. No, absolutely.
So I was like at the top of the second group and had a really fun game over here. This was against Trevor playing Classic Ultramarines. It was a really, really fun game. I respected the fighting more than I should. I did not respect the shooting enough. Because turns out, executioners,
Tonks,
lancers, things like that with +1 to wound and the reroll built in, were real good at getting underneath that 4 pin vuln. Because whatever one shot gets through, you're gonna spike it big.
Yep.
So I actually ended up being scared. It was a very hard fought back and forth. We got Calgar and the Bully Boys. Again, very nervous about his ability to stage behind this little L in the middle. So I tried to be very aggressive where I could, which largely was working. Ended up being a very, very close game. Another one, down to the wire. Supply drop. I'm going first, unfortunately. Gilliman on one flank, just some intercessors on the middle flank. Kazurkin ready. I'm like, if Gilman doesn't get back up, I can do this. Gilman doesn't get back up. It comes down to, okay, he needs to take the middle point with like 5 intercessors. Explosion happens. Goes down to 3 intercessors.
Oh, no.
He needs to charge onto my vehicles out of line of sight because I got a Hellhound, and if I see him, I torch him, and I win the game. He needs to get in there, kill the tank, and if I can bonk even 1 wound, then I will win the game. So the game comes down to a single combat against a vehicle. He gets in there, kills the vehicle.
Oh.
It was I mean, look, if you're gonna lose, that's the way to lose. Very, very epic. We had like nothing left on the board, so super, super, super fun. I don't know. A lot of words to say. Those are the matchups. I had a great time. They were all really great opponents, really close games, and seemed good.
Yeah, I am jealous of the fun that you had. Not the fact that you played 6 games of Warhammer and potentially had, like, you almost had to play 9.
I know. I was like, oh gosh.
And that would have been
just like not make the cut, just barely. Please.
Me and Bridger, when this was all happening, like obviously me and Bridger at the event as well, and we're like keeping track and keeping tabs on Adrian to make sure like we know what's going on. Yeah, and he keeps winning and he's winning and he's winning. And we're like, we're happy for him, and we're like, we're supposed to have a meeting on Sunday.
Yeah.
And if Adrian makes the top cut, it's just gonna be me and you, Bridger.
Do some business.
And then, well, of course, we found out that Bridger actually thought you did make the top cut.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I didn't think. I thought top cut, like he missed out by a couple. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure he made a top cut. And I was like, ooh, Bridger, that means it's you and me, pal. And then, of course, he found out he didn't. And we were like both relieved, but also disappointed for you because you had like an amazing showing with the guard. Genuinely, an amazing showing with the guard.
Thank you. I had no expectations. I was like, I'm going to try to go 3-3. It's not a meta. I'm just going to play and have a good time. And it is a fact of the meta kind of changing. And then I also just been playing this list for a while now, so I'm more comfortable with it for sure.
Yeah, you've been playing this list longer than I think you've been playing. Like I want to restart that. You've been playing this list longer than you have played other lists in the recent past.
Yeah, for sure,
like this edition at least. Like you've held on to the guard for much longer than any other faction, I think.
Yeah, and it's been this particular list too.
Right.
Like I haven't been changing attachments or anything.
Yeah.
I've been mostly playing with teams, but so it's been fun. So the practice sometimes does pay off. No, the practice always pays off. That's the truth about Warhammer. If you want to get good at Warhammer, you just play a lot.
Play more Warhammer.
That's all it is. Sorry. All right. This is Emperor's Meetup.
This is.
We had a great time.
We had a fantastic time.
Yeah, we hung out. We ate pizza. We had drinks. It was fantastic. This is digital. Beautiful man. Great. Yeah. Become an Emperor. We do our meetups at every big event we go to. We hang out. We play games. It's a great time. So it's a great time. We ran into Phil, of course. Phil the Glacial Geek, who is a friend of ours, also on YouTube. Did you know he won the Trench Crusade narrative event at Nova?
Did he actually?
Yeah, he did.
Nice. That's sick.
Right? So cool.
That's awesome.
They seemed like it was an amazing, amazing time.
Yeah, I'm so jealous.
Right?
We walked by the tables. Did you have a chance to walk by the tables?
Not really, no.
Yeah, well, me and Bridget, we had plenty of time to kill.
Yeah.
And we walked through all the tables, and they looked really cool. We didn't get to see the more time stuff when it was set up, because they did that on Thursday, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
But I hear that it was also fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
So
before we go into Lil B's adventures in Lord of the Rings and all that stuff, I want to bring us back to the theme today, which is talking about the 40k meta and is it healing? Obviously, this was anecdotal, my time this weekend, but looking at tables, talking to people, seeing the results from the weekend, playing my own games, I think it is. I think they did great changes. We're moving in the right direction. I think, obviously, the Knights book is going to change things and hopefully balance things for the Imperial Knights. I think that a balanced data slate could do some great work to kind of finish that off. And then we only have, what do we have, Drakari left?
Drakari.
In the Chaos Demons, obviously.
Maybe one day at some point.
But it's feeling like we're in a better place. After a few months of not so much fun at tournaments, I think we're getting in the right direction. Still some work to do, but it feels good.
Yeah, definitely. And again, we definitely have to give props to Games Workshop, even though, yes, they're the ones that release these rules, so theoretically they're the one responsible for making these kind of metas whenever they go sour. However, they are also the ones to fix it.
Yeah.
And they are willing to fix it, and they definitely need to be commended for that, right? So, yes, be upset. Everybody, you have the right to be upset. Obviously, we're all very invested in this game.
Be critical, I would say.
Yeah, be critical, but also give credit where credit's due at the same time.
Exactly. I want to make a little poll just to get a sense for you guys. Definitely, probably. There's no neutral options. Probably not, or maybe not, and definitely not. So you have to have an opinion today here, chat.
Yeah, if there's one thing Adrian hates, it's people with no opinion.
Yeah, the worst. They're boring. Don't be boring. Make a stance. All right, King OG Low says the meta might be healing, but we don't know what the data slate will bring. For all we know, GW will reroll all wounds to Space Marines on OOM.
At the moment.
Oath of Moment, yeah. Out of mana, is that how I read that?
Out of mana.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's true. And again, me and Bridget talked about this also on Tuesday, where whenever the game gets to a point where it feels like it's balanced or moving in the right direction towards balance, a data slate will come in to nerf things or to buff things, and then the balance that we had, this little bubble that we were creating, gets popped immediately. And we kind of repeat this cycle time and time again because, of course, they do their updates, the data slates, once a quarter.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to wait till the next iteration. There's some armies that get released right before the data slate, so there's no chance that they'll ever get touched until the next one. Death Guard, for example, or like really any of the Chaos Codexes that came out this summer.
Yeah.
They kind of missed that cutoff just barely, and so then we kind of had to wait. So we'll definitely have to see. I'm hopeful, obviously, and you should also be hopeful, but writing's on the wall for it to be okay, right?
Yeah,
if they did like a hot fix for the Death Guard, they were aware of it, which means they're not going to roll back any of those changes, obviously. They're not going to roll back any of the changes for the Chaos Knights, and the good thing about this, the data slates, is that it is all just digital. Yeah. There's no physical printouts that they have to do, so they can change it up to the day they release it if they really wanted to.
That's true, actually.
So we have no reason to be doom and gloom at the moment.
I think there's times that bad timing is a thing. That for sure can happen, but I don't think this will be one of them, kind of for the reasons you're saying, and like the Imperial Knights Codex is coming out. They already had the snafu with the points, so hopefully that's been resolved. I think this will be one that, like, these last points changes were considered to be in tandem with the slate. So I do feel optimistic about it. So that's good. I'm seeing currently we're at 63% of people are saying probably. Only 12% say definitely, 16% say maybe not, and 9% say definitely not.
I mean, that's a pretty overwhelming majority. Are thinking that it's healing, right? So that's what, 75%? Like that's
right. Yeah, some form of healing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I agree. I think I would put myself in the probably category.
I think I go in a probably as well.
Will Death Guard let the meta wounds heal Scar, or will it faster? True. Look, I think we at least think Death Guard is probably still too good. Again, we mentioned Artivore's tier list with Eldar being at the top. That is not the average player at all.
No.
The problem with Death Guard is they're very accessible. It's not the hardest thing to play. Obviously, if you play well, you'll do better. But Eldar, if you don't play them well, it just collapse. They are still very fragile. So that's a thing for sure. DG will need rules and rights. Yep. Should Skyborn Sanctuary be 2 CP? Skyborn Sanctuary.
That's what lets you get back into transport at the end of the fight phase. Do I think it should be 2 CP? I don't think so. I also don't think, personally, I hate the transport abuse. Yeah. Like what that Eldar are doing at the moment.
The in and out?
So it's at the end of the fight phase, if you're not in combat, just get back in.
Yeah. It is a bit too much.
I think it shouldn't exist. We have come from a world, and I'm going to go back to the past. We've learned a lot of lessons over the course of 8th edition and 9th edition. 10th edition changed the game from 9th, like the core rule set of like 8th, right? So like 8th and 9th were functionally the same thing.
Right.
10th and 11th will functionally be the same thing. We learned a lot of lessons in 8th and 9th edition where we didn't want to move when we came out of Deep Strike.
Yep.
That was too powerful. We hated it, right? So no moving except for charging.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that we learned that when we came to 10th, they just forgot.
Yeah.
And decided that they were going to bring everything that we hated into the game, and then that was just going to be everybody will have access to these rules. Sure, and if everybody has access to it, it's not as egregious. But there are some armies where that was their whole identity in the previous edition, like Eldar, for example, shooting and moving, or Tau shooting and moving. And so then when they come into this new edition where everybody has everything, what is the new identity? Right. What gives this faction the specialness that every faction deserves?
Exactly.
And at the moment, it's crazy high damage, crazy low durability, and just abusive movement tricks.
Yeah.
And of course, you can look at any faction and find a thing that they're supposed to do or things that they abuse. Like, for example, Death Guard. I hate to keep using Death Guard as the example, right? But like, lethal on everything for Death Guard, right? That's a rule that they just blatantly abuse. Like, why are the meltas lethal?
Right.
Nobody knows.
Yep.
So personally, I think I don't really like the strat because you already have Fire and Fade in that same detachment.
Yeah.
You already have access to move, shoot, move on like Azerman if you wanted to take Azerman with his Dire Avengers. So like, theoretically, you could have 3 units in and out of transports every single turn with uppy downy capabilities and all the other crazy stuff. Like, there's a lot of abuse that's accessible, which is why Eldar can be very, very strong. But again, because of the lowest durability of any army in the game is Eldar.
Right.
It makes it very hard and not accessible for a lot of players. But in the hands of really skilled players like Folger, it's unbeatable.
It's unbeatable, yeah. If you play everything perfectly, it's impossible to interact.
Which, to me, is bad design.
Yeah. Well,
because
I'm torn. I like that there's like the high end is hard to reach. Obviously, uninteractability is bad.
And they abuse the uninteractability.
Yeah, exactly. It's so much, like you said, it's like not 1 instance, but it's 2 instances, 3 instances of it. So I could see toning that down. I believe every other instance of hopping back in a transport, other than like a reactive move, cannot be done in the same turn you get out. So even if they changed it to be like the Salamander one, where it's like not in the same turn, it would still be useful because you could like get out, get your angle, you have to survive, so not get charged. At the end of your opponent's turn, get back in, and now you get to use your vehicle again. So that would be a way to maybe chill it out a little bit while giving someone a way to respond to it,
Yeah, definitely.
I had another point about that. Eldar, move, shoot, move, tournaments, right direction. Yeah, I don't know. It's gone. Yeah, definitely some discussion around Death Guard. Are they too strong? Are they not? I'm going to end the poll here. Boom. Yeah, I really wish I could remember what it was. Internal balance is weird. Yeah.
I was talking about bad design.
Yeah. It is a T3 army problem. It comes back to that elite problem.
Right.
Yes, Adrian, Eldar infantry would have to survive. Yeah. I know, and then therein lies the problem. That's why they made this design. So, again, we're not saying it's necessarily too powerful, but it may not be a design that we want to see.
Right. It creates a lot of feel bads.
Yeah.
And that is why it's a bad design, because nobody's happy. If the Eldar player doesn't get to do the thing, feels terrible.
Right.
And they're not happy. If the Eldar player gets to do the thing, their opponent feels terrible, they're not happy.
Yeah.
You can't, either side, it doesn't work.
It's like the harpoon gun for knights. It's like, it's a problem because someone's going to be upset. Either the knight player misses with their 1 mega shot, or the knight person hits and the other person has their thing just auto-killed. Yep. No matter what, someone's going to be sad in that situation. So, yeah. Fire Dragons probably need to lose 1 reroll damage, probably.
I think...
I don't know. Fire Dragons are so weird.
They are very weird. And the reroll only works in the shooting phase. I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
They're more expensive than Eradicators. Eradicators have roughly the same amount of shots for 5. Like, 5 Fire Dragons have basically the same shots as 3 Eradicators.
Yeah.
It's 1 less, technically. But you get rerolls all the time.
I could see just a 5-man. Only 5-man, so you can't do Fuegan Abuse.
Yeah, honestly, that's fine.
Yeah. I think you could also reduce some Melta damage, because they're Melta 3. I think Melta 2 would probably be fine.
Melta 2 would probably be fine, yeah. Because like the rest of the Melta guns in Eldar are Melta 2.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Oh, no, actually, I think, no, they're 1 less strength. They're strength 8. They're not strength 9, they're strength 8. But they're still a Melta 3.
The other ones?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
All the regular fusion guns.
Really? What the heck?
Yeah, they're 1 less strength.
So strange. But it's a harpoon. Can you ever be sad about being hit with a harpoon?
I will say, I've had 10 Fire Dragons. Like this one I played Mark at the event.
Right.
All of my Fire Dragons, including Fugan, every single one of them shot into a Wave Serpent.
Yeah.
He didn't die.
They can still fail. You are still winning on 5s.
No. It was just because he made a ton of impulse saves.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Like, I wounded with basically everything, because Fire Dragons, they wound with everything. It's not math, but that's how it works.
What is this? Oh, my God. What the heck? It's the world's smallest violin.
He made all of his impulse saves.
It's so small.
That to say, because of the whole spam that exists, there's a lot of invulnerable saves in the world at the moment. They have much less value into stuff like that. Right?
Yeah.
Like demons, they're not killing demons. Like
Right.
I'd have to put every single one into a Bloodthirster to even hope to kill the Bloodthirster. You have a 2-up save on something in cover. You still have a 5-up save against my Melta. Like, it's not as guaranteed as it once was.
Yeah. It's a tough problem to solve. It's a mix of like what is too strong and also what is just not encouraging healthy play patterns. Again, not dissing anyone who does these things, but it's the game, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. So I'm very curious to see how it all pans out. I myself am very curious. I'm a little torn after this weekend, to be honest. I was like, I'm going to switch from guard competitively for a little while. Obviously, they did well. I'm excited. I'd like to play Eldar. I'm excited to play Eldar. I'm also excited to hobby. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Things I'd like to see in the balanced data slate, which could be a whole nother stream, so I'll be brief. No more challenger cards.
Oh my God.
Be gone.
I hope so.
I'm willing to compromise, but in an ideal world, they're just gone. Emperor's Children. Give them all the vehicles, please, James. I think we've seen the data enough that if your name is not John Lennon, they are struggling, and they're double struggling into this vehicle meta.
Yep.
There's so many of the detachments that just don't hang. I love that army. I want to play that army, but I feel like I'll have a bad time if I take it to a tournament.
You will definitely have a bad time.
So those are my. Oh, and then obviously orcs. But I don't even know what to ask for orcs because I don't know how you solve the problem right now.
Yeah, I don't even know how to begin to solve that problem, honestly. So.
Yeah, so that's the discussion for another time. But people were mentioning it, so I want to mention. Brian, you were spared the stress of 40k and wandered over to the world of Middle Earth with Bridger.
With Bridger, yeah.
Tell us about it.
Bridger and I obviously went down to Nova, as Adrian said. We decided to not play 40k because we did not want to fly across the country with our armies. That just sounds like a terrible time.
Hey,
I don't know how you do it every year, honestly. Vegas is the farthest I'll go for a tournament.
Yeah.
I can drive there.
Because you can drive, yeah.
But anyways, we took part in Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth Strategy Battle Game. We did a doubles event, which was a ton of fun. And if you were here on Monday or Tuesday, you have heard the story. If you weren't there and you haven't heard the story, or you weren't a member, or whatever the case, it's a great story, and I'll tell you here in a second. But we decided like 3-4 months ago that we were going to go to this event once we decided that we were all going to go to Nova and we didn't want to play 40k.
Yeah.
And when we decided that we were going to go to this event, we had decided on, or we started to decide on factions. So we were thinking of all the different things. We went and we had like a test game so I could show Bridger how to actually play the game, so I could relearn how to play the game myself.
Right, yeah.
And we kind of settled on Isengard and Mordor. So Bridger was going to play Isengard, I was going to play Mordor, because in doubles you just have to play the same allegiance, I guess is what you would call it. Good or evil, right, easy. Respectively. So it was great. He wanted to play Saruman because he's a wizard. He's got a really cool lightning spell. I wanted to play. Really, it didn't really matter. I was like, I'll just play orcs, and I love Gothmog. He's a really cool model, so I'll play Gothmog with Mordor. It'd be a great time. Fast forward to a week-ish before the event. I submit the list, and I have it on BCP. It's in my name or whatever. We get to the event, and Bridger and I, again, we had a lot of time to just like hang out. And so we're going over the list and trying to like remember what's actually in there to make sure everything's right before the event.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, by the way, just so you're aware, my Legendary Legion is wrong. And a Legendary Legion is similar to a detachment in 40k.
Okay.
So he's like, oh, we need to go and talk to the TO because we just need to like switch my Legendary Legion.
The wrong one.
Yeah, because the one that I had selected was not the one that gives him the cool lightning on Saruman. So obviously that was the whole reason he wanted
the cool lightning.
Yeah, well, he made me make the list like 3 months after we decided what we were taking. So like, kind of his fault. So anyways, we go down and we talk to the TO and we're like, hey, Mr. TO man, we need to fix our list because we kind of made a mistake. The Legendary Legion's wrong. We just need the Isengard to switch to the white hand instead of what it is at the moment.
Right.
And the TO, he's got the app pulled up on BCP. He's looking at it and he's like confused. He's like, so you guys, you want to play Isengard? And me and Bridger are like, no. We want the Isengard to be switched to the white hand because it's currently not that, and we want to play that.
It's just a different sub-faction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he was like, okay, well, what about this Mordor stuff? And I was like, well, that's me. That's what I'm playing. I'm playing Mordor. And he's like, oh, okay. No. You can't do that, actually. And me and Bridger, again, he was confused, and now we're confused.
Yeah.
We're like, why? You know? And he's like, well, 6 weeks ago, there was a mission pack for doubles events that dropped
from GW.
From GW that re-orchestrated the way that you play doubles events, and so now you no longer can just be both good or both evil. You have to play the same army, same faction. And me and Bridger are sitting there like, interesting. So we're from the West Coast, and we're here now. And the tournament starts in like 30 minutes. So what are we to do, Mr. T.O. man? And he was super nice, and he was trying to make it work for us, obviously, because we are like at this event already. It's too late at this point, and we're just idiots. And he's like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You guys are gonna pick one of the factions, and that faction will get its army rule. So like, cool, done deal. We'll take Isengard. Bridger can have his army rule. My army rule was garbage anyways. It didn't matter. And then he's like, and additionally, you can't win. And I was like, yeah, we weren't going to win the event anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, easy.
Turns out what he meant was we just can't win games. So we can play in the event, but we can't win anything.
You ought to lose all your games.
Which is also fine, because we had no aspirations of doing well in the event anyways.
You're just looking to play.
Exactly.
And you were running literally an illegal list.
Literally illegal list, yeah, exactly.
Completely illegal.
And so we were like, cool, honestly, this is the most elegant solution that we could have had for this event, so we're good with it. And so right before the event starts, as all TOs do whenever you go to GT or to RTC or whatever, they make announcements, right? They talk about train, they talk about rulings on weird edge case rules or whatever the case is. So he's going through all the admin stuff, and then afterwards, he's done with everything, and he's like, all right, and the last thing, just really quick, there were a few people that decided to bring, or thought that they could bring, a few people that thought they could bring 2 different factions and play them together. And then when he said that, everybody in the crowd, there was like 20-something teams here, everybody in the crowd was like, oh my God, how stupid can you be? These idiots, who would do that? And me and Bridger are just sitting there like,
who did that?
Dummies, man, it's so stupid. Turns out we were the only people to do that, and the TO was just being nice and trying to not single us out. But we were actually, in fact, the only idiots that did that. And so whenever we had gotten to our tables, each one of our games, we were just like, hey, man. And our opponents like, hey, you guys already won. We're the idiots that decided to bring 2 different factions.
Guys.
So you win. Good job. We're just here to play to have a great time. And it turns out, when your opponent knows that they've already won, you just have a great game.
It's great. It takes off all the pressure.
No pressure. Everybody's like laughs and smiles. And it's like super, super amazing. So we had a fantastic time. We started every game off with a loss, and I was happy to do it, honestly. 10 out of 10 would do it again.
You guys.
With the illegal list and everything.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to razz you, and then I'll say a legitimate thing point. But like, oh my God, you guys, this was months of planning. And you're so bad at planning. And you're both like, no, you do it. No, you do it. No, we're going to do this thing and blah, blah, blah. Like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Having said that, my heart does go out because it's an example of if you're a casual player, you don't play often, updates are good for the game, but they can sometimes become a problem. Like, you know, whether or not you agree with this rule, it was a rule and it happened and it was 6 weeks ago and you would think that someone would see it, but maybe not. Maybe you don't get to play Lord of the Rings all the time. You know, I think a lot of people go to the events because they don't get to play all the time. And so you miss that update and then that sucks because this happens. You know, in this case, you don't care. You just won't play games. That's fine.
Yeah, 100%. But for somebody who had aspirations to do well or wanted to perform or was there all weekend and that was like what they came for, like that sucks, you know?
So it's like, yes, you guys are idiots. But also, it's kind of a reminder, like, that's how this stuff happens.
There is a casual audience, right?
And like, most people.
This event was 3 games, and this was Bridger's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th game. Right. Middle-order strategy battle game, right? So like, that's not an uncommon thing. People go to big events to play games, right? Because it's a dedicated day or days where they can just play the game that they want to play. Precisely. And then they won't play it again for 6 months. Yeah. And like that's what a lot of people do, and that's totally fine. But anyways. That was the great story. Now going back to the photos here. Yeah. So this was our first game, and doubles has like a weird mission set. Okay. So you have, it's different missions from the normal, like if you're going to go to an event and play singles. Nice. It's like missions designed for doubles. Yeah. So in every game, there was like a primary force and a secondary force. So primary force was one player's army, secondary force was another player's army. Right. On the same team. Yes. Know? And a lot of them had deployment zones where it was like the primary forces are in the middle somewhere right in front of each other as this picture is showing, and then the secondary force is off in the world doing something else on a flank or something, and they have to kind of make their way to the center. Now Bridger's army was Isengard, and they're pretty elite because he has Saruman, and then in this picture you can see Grima. So we'll talk about Grima because he is an absolute nightmare.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's a ghost right there.
Yeah, it's very spooky. I don't know.
Oh my god.
But Bridger's army is very elite because Saruman is a ton of points, and I just had a ton of models because Gothmog, not very expensive, turns out. He's actually not very good either.
Kind of a trash bag.
Yeah, he's actually a trash bag. Yeah. So my army always started in the middle in front of our opponent's army, and it was never a good time for me because orcs were real bad.
This is deployment.
This is deployment. Yeah.
That's wild.
And that's an objective. That little blue thing, that's an objective.
Oh my gosh.
So we literally are right on top of each other. Now this game was hilarious because ghosts ignore basically all the rules.
Oh, great. Good game to start on for you guys.
It was fantastic. In order for me to charge the ghosts, I had to pass a courage check.
Oh, it's like Old Fear, basically?
Old Fear, yeah, exactly. So orcs, I don't know if you could have guessed, they have really bad courage. So the way that courage works in this game, you roll 2 dice, you have to equal or beat the number that is your courage. Orcs have courage 8.
Oh,
so I needed to roll an 8 or higher in order to charge into these models. If you fail that courage test, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Except for fight if they charge you.
Yeah.
Would you believe that I failed 90% of my charges?
I would.
Yeah.
Even if you told me it was inverses, I think you'd fail them.
Yeah, so I failed like all of my charges.
No.
He charged me everywhere, and I'm pretty high defense. Like I have pretty high toughness.
Yeah, like armor and
6.
toughness.
Yeah, so like I'm armor 6, which is pretty high.
Yeah.
But again, ghosts don't care. They attack your courage, not your defense. I'm courage real bad. So he's wounding me on at worst 3s with everything. So I was just dying in droves. And then if the guy with the orange hair behind this little shrub here, that's Aragon.
Oh no!
And he is an absolute menace. So I couldn't charge anything. And he would just poke out from behind the bushes and be like, surprise, I killed 3 models. And then we would just rinse and repeat. And it took Bridger like 4 turns to catch up to me.
No.
And we lost this game real hard.
Yeah.
Real hard.
That's so
But it was
funny.
fantastic. It was amazing. Grima, though, if you are within 6 inches of him, whenever your heroes want to do something, and they have to spend a resource to do something, Grima makes it so it's basically vect. You have to spend an additional resource, which is a really big deal in Lord of the Rings because you don't have a lot of resources. And you don't get to replenish them most of the time. There are some edge cases where you can, but Grima, as long as he's near your heroes, he just gets to do the thing. And you can't attack him.
Right. He's like old changeling.
So he deploys with your opponent's warband. You get to move him whenever it's your turn to move, but your opponent can't do anything about it.
That's so funny.
And he just like exists. He wanders around. He follows their characters around. He's like, unless you decide to, like this in this photo here, he has him tri-pointed so he can't move anywhere.
Oh, so someone has to babysit him constantly.
There's 3 models not doing anything because they just have to babysit Grima. There's like you can see there's not a lot of models.
Yeah,
in this army. Like 3 dedicated Grima. That's a good trade.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But anyways, we got wrecked in this game. It was amazing. It was fantastic.
That's so funny. Real quick, great question from Bonesaw is ready. Bonesaw is ready. What would everyone play in Middle Earth strategy battle game? For me, I don't care about the meta. I'm running Rohan because Theoden is a Chad. Yeah. We also had a bunch of Rip Theoden King, Rip Bernard Hill, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So I have an old Isengard army, which is somewhere in my parents' attic. I think you convinced my dad to go look for it because you got him hyped up for Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is a sick game, dude.
I would love to have a Hobbit army, but Brian tells me it'll be very toxic and not fun.
It is very toxic and it is not fun.
I don't really want to play with 100 models, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I really do want to play with Hobbits. So
no.
We'll see. If I can find my Isengard, I'd do Isengard. And probably will, to be honest. I don't know when, where, or if on the channel again, but like, we just like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings is so cool.
And you've got a bunch of armies.
I have a bunch of armies. Yeah, I have a lot of the evil stuff. So I obviously have Mordor. I have Isengard. I have Azog's legion/hunters. I think they've kind of homogenized them a little bit more now. But Azog is typically how I like to play. Like when I was playing prior to this new edition, I played only Azog for the most part because he's really cool. Bolg was an amazing character, and he's getting a new. Or I don't know if he already has it, but there is a new model coming for him, or already just came out. But I really like that.
That's great.
I gravitate towards the evil armies for whatever reason.
Yeah, it is interesting because that's the opposite of you in every other game.
Yeah. Well, they are just evil elves, to be fair. They're like corrupted elves.
That's true. Contentious, but true. Can I play Old Bill? You mean Bill the Pony?
He does have a model. You can
no way! You can play Bill the Pony.
Yeah, I remember when I said you don't get a lot of resources.
Yeah.
Bill just lets you have more resources.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I think
he goes and gets more friends.
I think he refunds them.
That's awesome. That sounds sick. Yeah, let us know. What would you play in Lord of the Rings if you gave it a go? That's super fun. Yeah. So that's your first game.
Yep. This is game 2. Again, you can see I start right in front of our opponent.
This is great.
Except now there's a troll in my face.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can imagine that a troll beats orcs real good.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, so...
also, great shot, by the way. Very cinematic.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't take many pictures, but the ones I did were subpar.
You guys get 3 pictures from Brian.
And The next one is also from this game too. So
Oh, okay,
I didn't even do a good job.
You didn't get the third game.
No, I forgot to get the third game.
All right.
These tables though were super sick. Like obviously we're playing in Moria here. You
Yeah.
can see like the pillars from Moria.
Oh, nice.
And me and Bridget literally just deployed in a line across the way. We're just like, yeah, we'll figure it out.
That's great. And Lord of the Rings boards are always awesome.
Super thematic.
It's another big cultural thing that is big for them. Beautiful tables. You play in the spirit of the game. Literally in the rule book, I think it says at one point, if you have to argue about the rules, you're playing the game wrong.
Yep.
You know, it's great. So
Yeah, basically.
how was this game?
This game was really, really fun. So this is our first kind of experience with what the lightning can do for Saruman. We never did lightning again.
Oh,
It's just busted.
really?
Yeah,
Oh my
so
gosh.
the damaging spells in this game, it's like pick a single target.
Yeah.
They're hard to cast, so you need like a 5. You need to roll a 5 on one of your dice, and generally speaking, you're only rolling 2 to 3 dice to try to cast it, and one of them needs to be a 5. You can manipulate them, but again, it costs more resources.
Yep.
Anyways, but it's like this one target takes a strength 6 hit.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
That's it? Just like that?
Just like that.
Oh my gosh.
The lightning says,
Yeah.
pick a point anywhere on the table that you can see,
Yeah.
more than 12 inches away from any of your friendly models.
Oh my gosh.
Everything within 2 inches of that point, so it's a 4-inch diameter,
Yeah.
everything takes a strength 6 hit. You don't need to roll anything for it. You don't have to spend any resources for it. It's just instead of casting a spell, you do this massive AoE thing.
What?
And off to the left of this photo,
Yeah.
there's a clump of Urukai, like our opponent's Urukai.
Right.
And Saruman was like, hey, what if the center of this clump just took strength 6 hits? And we killed like 8 models. And I say we, Bridger killed like 8 models.
Yeah.
I think there was maybe 12 there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that was his whole army.
Yeah,
Bridger
yeah.
had 14. His whole warband was 14 models. He killed over half of his own warband with that one attack. And we were like, okay, we're not doing this again. That's way too much.
Yeah, no kidding.
But we got through it once,
Okay.
and we were going to win the game anyways. So it was fine. We didn't feel bad about
Easy
it.
peasy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this troll absolutely wrecked me.
Oh, that's so fun.
And there's a Witch King somewhere in there that was just like casting spells and transfixing Gothmog, so he couldn't fight ever. So we both actually, the opponents had Gothmog too. So our Gothmogs were like on opposite sides. And we're like, oh, well, maybe we'll meet in the middle. I don't know. But Bridger was just transfixing his Gothmog, so he couldn't do anything. The Witch King was transfixing my Gothmog, so he couldn't do anything. And so we're just staring at each other from across the way like 2 star-crossed lovers, like never get to meet.
No, it's so sad. And then you've got, there's your-
There's the Witch King right
Oh,
there.
there's the Witch King, yeah.
And then that's Grima.
Grima!
Yeah, just being a real nuisance.
So sick. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
And then our last game, which I don't have a photo of, unfortunately,
Yeah.
played on a Lake Town board, and there was a bunch of like gaps and stuff, so we had to like hop across the platforms.
Yeah.
First turn, I went to move again. I was deployed in the middle, but this time it was like donuts. So I was in the actual. There's like a circle in the middle. That's where I
Right.
deployed.
Okay.
There's a ring around my circle
Yeah.
that was the entire enemies, like both players, both of their armies deployed around me in a circle. Then Bridger picked an edge and got to be on an edge. So I was just sandwiched from the beginning, and I was like, well, I got nowhere to go. I don't know what to do. But because of the way that the board was, we had a lot of gaps. And it's like, I just need to defend these 2 flanks.
Yep.
And then they have to jump across to get to me. But then I was like, if I want to escape, I also have to jump across.
Yeah,
So I tried to escape turn 1 because they just like smushed me.
Yep.
And I like failed. I tried to jump with like 5 models. I failed 4 of them. And they all just like tripped and fell. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to roll a 1 to fail, by the way.
Oh, of course. And you got that.
Yeah. It was great. We would have won that game, actually, turns out. But we did not.
Shucks.
But amazing game. Fantastic.
Sounds like a great time, honestly.
We had an amazing time. I would do it again.
Honestly, you should. And yeah, as we were saying, Saul had questions about guard. Bonesaw was saying, games like Middle Earth Battle, MESBG, and Trench Crusade are a great alternative to the hyper-competitive kind of philosophy and culture of other games like 40k at tournaments.
Yep.
Lay back, chill, play some cool games, make cool boards, stuff like that, and there's a different emphasis. And it's a really nice, just different way to approach miniatures. So really, really fun. So it's awesome. Yeah, there are Crusade in 40k. It's not as well supported. I think it has it. It's great. We would love to play it, but there's less events around it. There's certainly less viewership around it.
Yep.
We would love to do narrative stuff for 40k that we do for Trench Crusade, but it's just less of a thing for whatever reason. That audience is more drawn to the nitty gritty, and this audience, the Trench Crusade audience, is drawn more to the look and the feel of the game. So
immersion is a really big thing, and we joke about it a lot. Like, oh, my immersion. But like a lot of these game systems exist for that reason.
Yeah.
like Lord of the Rings being one of them, the Star Wars Legion, their tables are always super, super beautiful. Trench Crusade, like it's all about being immersed in that setting and feeling like your army exists in the way that it should be in that place, right? Whereas 40k, it's more about symmetrical, like things, right? We want to feel like we both have the same on either side.
So balanced, everything's gonna be perfectly lined up, and
everything should be mirrored, except for the armies when they get put on the table.
I know, exactly. Which, I think they're both valid ways to play. I think we like both of them for different reasons, but it's always interesting.
Yeah, definitely is very refreshing though. If you are thinking that you want to take a break from 40k, you obviously do it if you feel like you need to. Don't burn yourself out on it, but like maybe try a different game.
There's ways to still do miniature stuff and be involved in it and build involved in the community and just do something different. Or heck, play Crusade. Find a group of friends and do that. It's just about finding people who play the same way that you play. If we were surrounded by people who only played narrative, I'd play more narrative. Frankly, I can get hyped up about any of these things because they're all cool, and it just takes friends to play with. Or events, as we mentioned, something to go to. Find your local big event or GT or whatever, and come on out and play. It's a great time. So. With that, folks, we're actually over time for today. It's been a lovely discussion. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I think the game 40k is looking like it's moving in an exciting direction. These other games continue to be super fun, so let us know if you want to see us play any of those around. Play AOS. AOS also great. AOS kind of bridges the two a little bit. Definitely a different culture. Moving towards the more 40k competitive side, but definitely comes from that more narrative side and beautiful armies, beautiful boards. So, it's again in kind of a different situation. There is a game today. Thank you for asking, Orcus Maximus. Not a plant, fun fact. We're going to go back to Sweaty Land, and we're going to be playing Folger Piles' winning list against my Nova list, which will be my guard, of course, the same exact list. It's going to be very, very interesting. And I think we're going to learn a lot, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of nuance to this list.
Yes.
Like it looks very simple on paper, but there's a lot of, you got to be real on the ball every time.
There's a ton of nuance. Yeah. So I'm certainly not putting any pressure on you because it's very, very fiddly. It's very fiddly. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be, of course, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, just an hour and 45 minutes. Join us for that. Friday, we're going to be back with a very, very first game of live Trench Crusade.
Yes.
We're going to have Trench, Brian, and I going head-to-head at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll do a live game. It's going to be Heretics versus a Court of the Seven, and it's going to be just a live one-off game. So I'm excited. It's going to be a fun time. Come hang out. It's a good chance to also pick Brian's brain about Trench Crusade and just kind of hang out. We haven't really done much live Trench Crusade content, and it's a chance to kind of do that. We are working on Season 2. It is happening. We had some great talks with the folks over at Factory Fortress as well as Baron of Dice. So will be Season 2. It is confirmed. We're just in the planning stages right now. So keep an eye out for more of that. Lastly, Saturday, we will have another live game, actually, because it is the Knights pre-order. It is Raven Guard and Imperial Fist pre-order. So you can bet we're going to have a live game with all that stuff, followed by a good talk. So just a bit too much to do in a pre-recorded game. We want to have that live discussion with you since it's a new release. It's going to be a great time. Final plug. Join us Monday. It's going to be my birthday, so we're going to have a birthday stream.
Oh, birthday boy.
Birthday.
Sigmar. Birthday Sigmar?
Yeah. Two of our favorite things together. It's going to be a great time.
Mondigmar.
With that, folks, thank you so much for joining us, hanging out. We very much love and appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all next time on the Tabletop. Bye.